Good morning students and welcome to the new lecture of the business studies. Previously we were doing the topic that is the international business, where we have just studied about what is the meaning of international business, what are the features, then what are the problems you can face at the time of doing the international business. Then we have also studied about what is the difference between the domestic business as well as the international business. So now today our topic is related with this topic, that is what are the mode of entering into the international business. There are basically the two modes for entering to the international business, that is through the export or by the import you can enter to the international business. So before starting the procedure, what are the different procedures you have to follow for the export and what are the different procedures you have to follow for import. You must have to understand what is the meaning of the export as well as the import. So when we are talk about the export means when you are going to sell your home products of your country products to the other foreign countries. You are selling your product to the international market, that is called export. It means export means there are exporters who are selling the goods, our country's exporter who are selling the goods to the international market, and import means it means when you are purchasing something from the foreign countries. It means at the export, when the goods are moving from the one country to the other or a foreign country. And also you are to, it is all the one thing more important that you must be in your mind, that during the international trade either you are doing the export or you are doing the import, there is the problem you can say, or you can say the one feature of the international trade is that the foreign currency, you have to deal with the foreign currency. You have to convert the foreign currency to the home currency. So, and also there is a problem you can say, or a barrier, that is the language barrier you have to also face, because the home country and the language of our country or the home country is 100% or different from the foreign country. It means it's not only the language but the taste and preferences of that country people are also be different. It's not the taste and preferences but also their political environment, you can say, what are the different rules and regulations. All you have to be take care about that when you are going to be, when you are going to be trade with the international business, because these are basically the main point before you have to be studied about what before doing the international business. So here we are now going to talk about or discuss about that what are the mode of the entering into the international business. First is the your exporting as well as the importing, both you can have. Now see, the exporting refer to sending the goods and services to the home country to the foreign country, and importing means the buying and selling of services to the foreign country. The exporting and importing can be done in the two ways, that is the direct way or the indirect way. So what is the direct? So direct means the firm itself approaches in the foreign country and complete all the formalities itself. And on the other hand, what is the indirect approach? It means when the firm employs a middleman to perform these formalities, then it is called the indirect exporting or importing. Now moving to the what is the for exporting as well as for the importing, you are to also follow the huge procedure, and each and every point of this procedure as important at its place. So first is the main step involved in export procedure, that is first is receive an inquiry and sending quotations. What do you mean by that? The prospective buyer of a product send an inquiry to different exporters regarding the price, quality, terms and condition, etc. So sometimes the inquiry is conducted by giving the advertisement, etc. The exporter send a reply to this inquiry in the form of the quotation, which is called the pro forma invoice, which is containing all the information regarding the price, quality, size, weight, etc. Next is the receipt of order or indent. It means that in case of prospective buyer satisfied with the information given in the performa invoice, then it take place the order for the goods to be dispatched. This is called or known as the indent. It contains the description regarding the good order and their price, their delivery, terms and condition, packaging, then the marketing instructions, etc. Marking instruction, etc. Now coming to the assessing importers' creditworthiness and security guarantee for the payment. When the exporter receive the the order of indent, then he have to make sure about the importer that either he is the capable of giving the payment. So how he can sort out all this, all receiving the order and becoming manufacturing the goods. The exporter inquire about the creditworthiness of the importer to get payment security. So to minimize the risk of default payment, most of the exporter prefer to demand a letter of credit. Letter of credit is the security or surety that the importer will make payment to the bank, and bank will make payment to exporter on behalf of the importer. So it is actually the surety which is given by the importer's bank. Now next is obtaining the export license. So license means it is very important document. Without obtaining the export license, you cannot do the international trade. According to the custom law, the firm must acquire the export license before exporting the goods. So what are the prerequisites of your export license? That obtaining the IEC number, it is import export code. It means for obtaining the license, you first have to obtain the import export code. So it means that before starting the export procedure, the exporter has to get the IEC number. This number is used for filling the formality of export procedures. So you have to do all the formality which is required, and also have to submit where it is required, and for just to obtain the import export code. Now next is, if the regional import export licensing authority is satisfied with the formality, then they will issue the IEC, it means import export code number, to the exporter. Now next is to obtaining the RCMC, which is what? Registration Cum Membership Certificate. So it means exporter get various benefits in the form of the subsidies and exemption in the excise duty, taxes, etc. To get these benefits, they have to show the RCMC. After getting the import export code number, the exporter apply for RCMC. It means first you are to get the code, then you are applying for this membership, because it is very much be beneficial for getting the subsidies and the exemption in the tax benefits. Now it means that ICEC number, the exporter applies for RCMC. The RCMC is issued by, now RCMC is issued by Export Promotion Councils of Federation of Indian Export Organization, Export Development Authority. So these are basically the three authority who is actually issuing this RCMC certificate. Now come to the next, that is the registration with ECGC, that is Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. It is a necessity in order to protect overseas payments from political and commercial risk. It means that this registration also helps the exporter to get financial assistance from commercial banks and other commercial institutions. Now next is production and procurement of the goods. After sending the confirmation to the importer, the exporters start manufacturing the product according to the specifications. If the exporter is not manufacturing, then he start procuring the goods from the different manufacturer as per the specification of the export order. Next is the pre-shipment inspection. Now quality plays a very important role. Now see, when once it is all clear that the order is going to be manufactured, that's very important that the order should be according to the you can say according to the requirement. So it means that the goods are produced strictly according to the quality specifications of buyer. In India, it is compulsory to get pre-shipment quality inspection according to the Quality Control and Inspection Act. So the government has prescribed a certain quality standard keeping in mind the safety and health of the people. That is, export inspection councils are set up to check the whether exporters are following those quality standards or not. If the council is satisfied, then they issue the inspection certificate. Without inspection certificate, exporter is not permitted. What are the different ways you can get the inspection? Now, first is the consignment while inspection. In this method, the exporter calls the inspector from export council, and after goods are ready and dispatched, the inspector checks each consignment of finished goods, and if he is satisfied, then he issues the certificate of inspection. Next, in process quality control. In process means when the goods are being produced in the factory or the mill, and that during that time the inspector inspects the process, the raw material and the process. The third is certification. It means the reputed firms and large-scale exporters themselves see it that international quality standards are maintained to improve and goodwill in the international market, because it is very important for the reputed companies to inspect their goods just to maintain the quality standard. Now, after self-inspection, they may also approach export inspection councils to inspect the quality standard and issue the certificate. So this is the way for the inspection of the goods when it is going to be dispatched. Next is the excise clearance. The export goods are generally exempted from the excise duty, and if the duty is already paid, then it is refunded back to the exporter. To get exemption, the exporter applies to the excise commissioner along with a copy of RCMC, invoice, etc. If the exporter has already paid the excise duty and he has to get refund, then he applies for assistant commissioner of the excise. Next is the obtaining certificate of origin. What do you mean by certificate of origin? It means some importing countries provide tariff concessions to the good coming from the particular country. To avail such benefit, the importer may ask the exporter to send the certificate of origin. It means this certificate is a proof that the goods are actually being manufactured in the country from where these are exported. This certificate can obtain from the trade consulate located in the exporter's country. Next is reservation of shipping space. The exporting firm applies the shipping company for booking shipping space. On accepting this application, the shipping company issues the shipping order. A shipping order is an instruction to the captain of the ship to receive the specified goods on board after customs clearance. The next is packing and forwarding. The goods are done properly packed and marked with the necessary details such as the name and address of the importer, gross and net weight, the port of the shipment and destination, etc. On loading the goods into the railway wagon, the railway authority receives the railway receipt, which reserves as a title of the goods. Next is the insurance of the goods. That is also important. So the exporter then gets the goods insured when the insured company to protect against the risk of the loss or damage of the goods due to the sea perils. Next is the custom clearance. To obtain the custom clearance, the exporter prepares the shipping bill. It means applying the bill contains the detail about the goods such as the port where the goods are to be discharged and the country of the final destination, exporter's name and address. Next is obtaining the made receipt. Now, what is the made receipt? Or receiving custom clearance. After receiving the custom clearance, the goods are then loaded on the ship, for which the captain of the ship issues the made receipt. It contains the detail regarding the name of the vessel, berth, date of the shipment, description of the package. Now, next is the payment of the freight and insurance of bill of lading. After loading the goods on ship, the exporter goes to the office of the shipping company. There he surrenders the made receipt, and in return the shipping company office issue him a bill of lading, which is prepared in the triplet form. One copy of it is for the exporter, one is for the captain of the ship, and one is for the importer. Preparation of invoice. After sending the goods to the invoice to dispatch goods, it is prepared. The invoice states the quality of the goods and the amount to be paid by the importer, and C&F agent gets it duly attested by the custom. Now, next is the security payment. After shipment of the goods, the exporter inform the importer, and then the exporter must send some important document to the importer to claim the title goods. The common document are that is a certificate of the invoice, bill of lading, packing list, insurance policy, certificate of origin, and letter of credit. The exporter sends these documents through her banker with the instruction that these documents must be delivered to the importer only when he accepts the bill of exchange. Now, there are also the two ways to accept the bill of exchange. First is the document against the site or the draft, that is, in this case the documents are handed over only against the payment. Second one, the document against the acceptance. In this case, the documents are handed over when the import acceptance the bill of exchange and agreed to make payment in the specified period of time. In case of the site, the importer release the payment immediately, and the exporter's bank receive the payment through the importer's bank and is credited to the exporter's account. After receiving the payment of export, the exporter need to get the bank certificate, which says that the necessary documents have been negotiated and payment is received in accordance with the exchange of control regulation. So this is such a huge procedure you are to just follow just for doing the export. It means that's why we can say that although the international business is good for the growth and for earn more and more profit from the world market, but there is a huge process you have to follow. The huge process has to follow by the exporter. There is also the import procedure, which has also the same kind of the huge procedure you have to be followed, and these are you can have. You first of all here also you have to do the trade inquiry, then procurement of the import license. Import license is also very important. Then obtaining the foreign exchange, just for doing the trade between the two countries. It is also very much important for obtaining the trade foreign exchange. Next is placing the order or indent, when you are placing the order to the foreign company for buying something. Obtaining the letter of credit, then you have to also take care about arranging for finance. Because how much you are paying, that is also it is in the bank format. Next, that is the receipt of shipment advice. The other point, that is retirement of the import document, then arrival of the goods and custom clearance. When the goods is just received or arrived in the port, it's also important to pay the custom duty or doing the custom clearance. That is all important for the import procedure. Now, there is also the import document used in the external trade. That is the principal export document. What are the different principal documents? Commercial invoice, that is the document containing the detail of the goods supplied by the exporter. Then packing list, this list contains the date of packaging. order number, bill of lading number, etc. Bill of lading. What is a bill of lading in the import? It is important. It is the most important document of export. It is issued by the shipping company. The bill of lading are an acknowledgement for receiving receipt of the goods, a document of title, and the contract of the freightments. Next, that is the airway bill. What is the airway bill? This document is the same as the bill of lading, but it is issued by the airline companies. When the goods are actually imported through the airways, then you are to require the airway. Certificate of inspection. This certificate is issued by the export inspection agency if they are satisfied with the quality standard of the exporter. Certificate of origin. This certificate is issued by the Chamber of Commerce. It is a proof that the goods are produced in the exporter's country only. And also the bill of exchange. It is a document for the payment to be received from the importer. So these are also the important point or the procedure which is to be followed by at the time of the import of those particular goods. Now come to the next, that is the important terms used in external trade. These are free FOB, that is a free on board. This is under this contract the freight is paid by the importer and only he is liable to bear all the risk from the point of the boat. Cost and freight, which is called CFR. Under this, the freight is paid by the exporter and he has to bear all the risk till goods reach to the importer's country. Cost, insurance and freight means that under this policy the exporter has to bear the freight cost, risk, and he only pay for marine insurance policy. So these all are the, you can say, the process through which or the mode of entering into the international business. So either you can enter the business through the export and also you can do your business by the import. So you can do both, that is export as well as the import, but in both the cases the procedure of import and export, or you can say for the international business, is very huge. You have to follow each and every step. You cannot skip any step because everything you are to be followed accordingly. So this is all about how to do the export. And we have just discussed about the process of the export procedure as well as the import procedure, and I think this is enough for today, and we will definitely meet in the next lecture.